Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. And well, as you guys can see from the title, today we're going to be talking about bronzer, and specifically we're talking about the new Fenty Beauty bronzers. Oh my gosh, if you know me, which you probably don't, but let me just tell you something. I love bronzer. I'm obsessed with bronzer, but fortunately I don't have a lot of options when it comes to bronzer. If you watched previous video, then you'd know like I'm constantly complaining like I need a good bronzer other than the two that I found. I need more. I need more. Literally only can find really two, kind of three bronzers that really work for me. So Rihanna was like, girl, I got you. Thanks, Ree. I saw that she came out with I think 8 shades. And of course, I normally just automatically tilt my eyes down to the darkest range. When it comes to bronzers, I'm normally the darkest one in most companies. Yeah, so she made this. First of all, let's talk about the packaging. This rose gold packaging is gorgeous. It is so gorgeous. Has Fenty Beauty on the front. It is it's nice. And then when you open up, Miss Magical is here, and she's been touched a little bit. She's been used because, you know, I couldn't wait. Like as soon as I got it, I was just like, let's see. And first of all, I love the color. When I personally looking for bronzers, I'm normally looking for something more on the reddish type of scale. So when I saw this, before even swatching it, before visiting Sephora, I just knew that this was the one I really, this was the one I wanted. Because I feel like a lot of people, especially when you're my skin tone and you're not in the whole hunting for makeup, you generally don't even bronze, like, because there's normally not really a bronzer for you. So now that Fenty Beauty has, you know, this bad boy, and you may be interested in, you know, what's bronzers for and how to properly use bronzer, I'm here for you. So typically when I apply bronzers, I like to use a brush like this. Don't judge. I've applied bronzer with this before, so you know it's not clean. So bronzer is something, it's not contour. It is something that adds more warmth to the face. So, you know, naturally the sun is going to hit you on certain parts of your face. I personally use bronzer to look a little bit more warm and glowy and fresh. I just really love what it does to my face, and I don't really like just foundation only, because sometimes foundation only can make your face look really like flat and like lifeless. But bronzer is what brings it back to life. Bronzer is the resurrection. So I'm just gonna show you exactly how I personally like to bronze my face. So I'm just gonna demonstrate. So by the way, this is Mocha Mami. The shade that I'm using is Mocha Mami. No other shade would ever work for me. And then I just normally like do like very light strokes. And I take it from right here and bring it up to my hairline like so. I'm just gonna smile a little bit so you can really see it. So this is the side with bronzer. This is the side without. Can you tell the difference? Hopefully you can. Then I like to also bronze around my hairline. So we're going like this. Very light-handedly. We don't want like big brown like streaks on our face. So we're barely tapping and lightly applying. And I mean very lightly. You want it to look very soft and very natural. Like, I naturally have this like beautiful glow. Like, what do you mean bronzer? That's how we're trying to look. So today I'm just using bronzer only. So I do like freely go like around the cheek. And this is, you know, Mocha Mami with the warmth. I feel like if you're a little bit darker, you could definitely use this as well. Just apply a little bit more. But for me, I feel like this is a good amount. And I don't know if you could tell, like, I should probably do a split screen. But to me, dramatic difference. And if you do feel like you added too much bronzer, you could go ahead with the brush that you use to add your powder. And you could just, like, go over it, and tap. Like, with no excess product, though. Just go over it, tap, and make sure it's not too much. Yeah, those are the places I usually bronze. Sometimes I go like a little bit like on my nose like this. So it's not gonna contour your face. So don't try to use it as a contour. It's bronzer. Especially this bronzer, it's so red. It doesn't add a shadow. It doesn't do any of that. It's mainly for warmth, so don't think it's gonna contour you. It does give you dimension to the face as contour would give you dimension to the face, but in a totally different way, if you get what I'm saying. But yeah, that's pretty much the bronzer. If you ask me, this is a great bronzer. It is a gorgeous color. The formula is really nice. It shows up, which is the most important thing. It shows up, it adds warmth, and I feel much better than I did at the beginning of the video. So thank you guys so much for watching me use this Fenty bronzer. Do I think they need to have more shades? Maybe, as I said, maybe one more shade, because I have seen some people say that this is a little bit too red for them. So maybe a little bit cooler shade for some people. I don't know. But for me and for my complexion, and in Fenty foundation, by the way, I am a 440. I actually think 445 is even a better shade for me. Just for reference, I am a 440, 445. And this is gorgeous. I feel like maybe for people on the lower end of the spectrum, they would have to use a little bit more for it to really show up. If you're like all the way at the end of the spectrum, I'm not sure if it'll work for you. Maybe you just have to like test it out and see for yourself. But okay, so I've applied my highlighter, my lipstick, and applied some setting spray, and this is how my face is looking. Another thing that you could do if you want your bronzer to kind of stand out more is the same thing that you would normally do with your contour. It's to take some of your setting powder. I'm using Laura Mercier translucent powder in medium deep, and I'm just gonna apply some underneath my bronzer. And as you can see, the bronzer kind of pops a little bit more just by doing that. So that pretty much concludes my video for today. Hopefully you guys see the difference that bronzer makes. I certainly do, always will. And yeah, like, let me know if you guys want me to do any more. But thank you guys so much for watching.